Hey everybody, it's Adam. Adam and Creditberry, very smooth. The B-E-R-R-Y, oh my, the white trash liberal, the double white on a dirt road Democrat, the progressive with the grocery store feet, the woohoo, Barry what it do. Y'all like my shirt? You can get you one. Just head on over to my merch store at incrediberry.threadless.com. Pick you one out. You can get one like this, one with my logo on it, or one with my face. Or it ain't even gotta be a shirt. We got coffee cups on there, throw pillows, stickers, magnets, even got shower curtains. So check it out. Make sure you're following me on all the social media platforms. Here, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Check out my podcast, The Incrediberry Podcast, on Apple Podcast and Spotify. If you want to hear progressive sarcasm spoken with a country accent, you've arrived at your destination. Well, midterm elections are this year, and Alabama's... Well, the midterm elections are this year, and Alabama's primaries are May 24th. It is prime primary season, and that can only mean one thing: prime primary ads. Who can sling more mud than a lifted Z71 on a Saturday night at the slab? Who can make sure voters know that they are 100% American beef, the most patriotic, the most MAGA-ist, Trumpist, dog-whistling candidate in all of Bama? Who's going to own the libs the most? Because, you know, them lazy elitists ain't cheap. Now, you won't find hardly any ads for left-leaning candidates in Alabama, because this is Alabama, where the most moderate Democrat is labeled as a radical socialist, where candidates who are so moderate they can take 2 steps to the right and be a Republican. I mean, you could take 2 steps to the right and be a Republican, but you're still characterized as a woke commie coming to take your guns and shove transgender vaccines into your arms. Alabama is so MAGA that a Republican running for state senate was kicked off the ballot for the primaries by the state Republican Party because years ago, before he even entered politics, he donated money to a childhood friend running for office who happened to be a Democrat. A moderate Democrat, by the way. A moderate Democrat that to this day is called a radical socialist. So they wouldn't even allow him on the ballot. And the left is called the radicals. So let's go through some commercials, some ads, some primary ads for the 2 main races, for the Senate and the governorship. Let's decide which proud Biden-hating, stolen election, legitimate political discourse candidate bleeds red, white, and blue while Lee Greenwood softly plays in the air. Let's start with the Senate race and Mo Brooks, or MAGA Mo Brooks, as his yard signs say. Now, old Mo Brooks, old Maurice, he ain't put out many ads because he had that Trump endorsement just clenched at his beck and call for the longest time. And that thing is like a golden ticket to the promised land in Alabama. But alas, as soon as he started slipping in the polls, Trump pulled that endorsement like a magician in a tablecloth. Maurice. He said it was because Mo had gone woke and claimed that the election wasn't stolen anymore. But we all know the real reason why. It's because he was slipping in the polls. Because he was in a distant 3rd place now. And Don don't like losers. So as soon as Mo lost that endorsement, he put out this cornucopia of desperation.
America does not need any more weakling, cowering, wimpy Republican congressmen and senators.
On January 6th, I proudly stood with President Trump in the fight against voter fraud. I'm running for the Senate because I'm tired of debt junkie, weak-kneed, open-border rhinos who sell out our conservative values.
That's why Mitch McConnell opposes me and supports Katie Britt.
I'm Mo Brooks, and you better believe I approve this message.
What in the Kevlar members only wearing please Donnie please kind of bullshit is this? Mo, I hate to break it to you. It don't matter if you help plan and incite an insurrection, or that your tongue is forever stained by the boot of Mar-a-Lago. It's over with. You went woke. So wake up. It's over. Maurice, I give your ads one berry what the fuck and a mason jar full of McAteers. All right, next up is Mike Durant. He is a veteran and an outsider willing to stand up to the liberal agenda. What you got, Mike?
President Trump made it clear on day one. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. And we stop it all by building a wall. But Joe Biden speaks a different language.
True international depression.
Open borders.
Flat bad and kept there.
Tax dollars for illegals.
Boom, boom, boom.
Violent gangs. Here's some plain English. Joe Biden is a failure. He's embarrassing our country, and I'm going to stop him because the career politicians won't. I'm Mike Durant, and I approve this message.
Build the wall. Stop Biden. Mike, I don't know how building a wall is going to stop Biden. I also love how the right acts like Trump was some kind of oracle prodigy, a language savant. Go vefe. All right, Mike, next.
Why does Joe Biden disgust me? 13 dead in Afghanistan. 13 more Gold Star families. Because of him. Biden has spent his whole life in politics. And when our men and women came home draped in the flag, he had somewhere else he wanted to be. Time's up for Joe Biden, and time's up for career politicians. I'm Mike Durant, and I approve this message.
I know, Mikey, that was sad. The only deaths ever in an American war. The only deaths ever under a president. The only tragedy ever over decisions made. Oh, wait. Never mind. None of that. You're just using the loss of these brave Americans and the grief of their families to pander to the Bama MAGA. Do better, Mikey. Are you even a veteran?
They nearly beat him to death, crushed his face, broke his back. They nearly beat him to death, crushed his face, broke his back, shot him on a dark day for America. Mike Durant was saved by his brothers, his life spared by the grace of God. He believes the unborn deserve the same. Mike Durant will fight to overturn Roe v. Wade, defend the right to family, faith, and the most precious, life. The innocent need protectors. We need Mike Durant.
I'm Mike Durant, and I approve this message.
Oh yeah, you were that Black Hawk Down guy. Mike, didn't you learn anything from John McCain? Don don't like guys who were captured. Well, maybe you did learn something from John McCain, God rest his soul. Because he would actually speak out against Trump. And you've never said a word that could be taken in any way as a slight against Captain Bone Spurs. Mike, I thank you for your service, but come on now. I give your ads 4 berry what the fucks and a little bitty military chopper. Okay, let's check out Katie Britt. She can't be that bad since she's not another old white man. Yeah, she's a Republican, but she's from my generation. You know, that blurry generation right at the end of Gen X and the start of millennials. I call it the Oregon Trail generation. So, she can't be full-on right-wing crazy, can she?
I'm Katie Britt. Growing up in the Wiregrass, I learned to respect our Second Amendment and always shoot straight. As Alabama's next senator, I'll stop Joe Biden's radical agenda dead in its tracks. Reckless spending, job-killing tax hikes, runaway inflation, vaccine mandates, open borders for illegal immigrants, and abortion on demand. I approve this message because I am ready to take on Joe Biden.
Okay, I might have spoken too soon. So let me get this straight. You're not going to do anything except stop Joe Biden in his tracks. No matter what he proposes, boom, no vote from Katie. Even if it would help alleviate some kind of issue or help your constituents, or even if your constituents supported it, nope, nope, nope. It's a nope from Miss Britt. Got it. Yep. Spoke too soon.
My faith and relationship with the Lord guide my everyday life. Being pro-life and pro-Second Amendment doesn't make me radical. It makes me American. We have to show strength at the border, and what we are showing as a country right now is total weakness. It is so important that we protect our nation's borders. We are a nation of laws, not a nation of lawlessness. We need somebody that knows how to fight for Alabama, that believes in Alabama. I'm Katie Britt, and I approve this message.
What? Did somebody just give you a piece of paper with buzzwords and bullet points? Faith, pro-life, pro-2A, radical, American, border strength, weakness, while showing a video of Sleepy Joe. What does any of that have to do with helping your constituents, Katie? Other than getting them riled up and reminding them that your political decisions will be based on your religion, which isn't supposed to happen, and for some reason your religion means secure borders? Keeping immigrants out? What Bible you been reading, Katie?
I'm Katie Britt. As a Christian conservative mother, I know that life is God-given. I also know that I've had about enough of radical liberals lecturing us about following the science, while being okay with taking the lives of innocent babies in the 9th month of pregnancy. Where I'm from, that's called murder. And this mama, I'm not gonna take it. I approve this message because saving babies starts with sending more pro-life moms to the U.S. Senate.
How did I get on the Stepford Wife channel? Katie, don't you know that women can't be leaders in Gilead? You're even wearing the same color as the wives on the Handmaid's Tale. Can somebody please point me to where a 9-month pregnant woman just decided, nah. Not because of some life or death situation, something out of her control, but just a 9-month pregnant woman who's went through everything, done had the baby shower, got the diapers lined up, got the nursery all ready with the pallet wall and the block letters spelling out Everly or Gunner, and she just wakes up and goes, man, fuck these kids. Katie, I had high hopes for you. But now I realize that once you enter a Republican primary in Alabama, it's a slippery slope to owning the libs. Katie, I give your ads 8 berry what the fucks and 6 blessed be the fruits. Okay, let's move on to the governor's race, and let's start with a legacy. Tim James, son of 2-time Governor Fob James, has ran for the governor's house and for the Senate several times, and he can just never get over the threshold, never can win, never can live up to daddy standards. But Tim James already belongs in the cringe Hall of Fame for this ad from his 2010 run for governor.
I'm Tim James. Why do our politicians make us give driver's license exams in 12 languages? This is Alabama. We speak English. If you want to live here, learn it. We're only giving that test in English if I'm governor. Maybe it's the businessman in me, but we'll save money. And it makes sense. Does it to you?
Timmy, what the fuck, man? Do we really speak English in Alabama? Or is it just a dialect that's a mixture of auctioneer, coon dogs, and sad country songs? This was in 2010. This was PT pre-Trump. This was before the real divide. The Tea Party had just started. You know what? Maybe Tim is a good businessman because he saw where the country was going and he got his foot in the door before anyone else. Well, hopefully he's calmed down with the self-righteous, inflammatory political ads since then.
There's a war going on between common sense and crazy. Transgender men using girls' bathrooms, destroying women's sports. A Supreme Court nominee who can't define a woman. Now here in Alabama, we've chartered the first transgender school in the South using millions of your tax dollars. The faculty put on a drag show for the children. That's not education. It's exploitation. It's got to stop. It's time to fight back.
Tim, you know, I hardly expected anything decent. The bar is set so low for you to impress me, and you still extremely disappointed me. I mean, how do you take something that we should be proud of and just turn it around into another bigoted stereotype of Alabama? For one, that $2 million in taxpayer money is nothing compared to, it's a drop in the bucket compared to the millions of taxpayer money. Tim, you know, I hardly expected anything decent from you. The bar was set so low for you to impress me, and somehow you still extremely disappointed me. How do you take something that we should be proud of and just turn it into another bigoted stereotype of Alabama? For one, that $2 million in taxpayer money is nothing. It's a drop in the bucket compared to the millions of dollars in taxpayer money we've wasted in lawsuits over the years defending stupid-ass laws that we passed that ultimately get shut down. And I am fine with my taxpayer money going to an inclusive place of education where students are welcomed and celebrated. Well, until you made this ad attacking and vilifying them. But hey, we're supposed to be protecting the kids, right? Right, Tim? I'm done. I'm done with you. Done. I never want to see your face or hear your voice or opinion again. Go do some yoga. Tim, I give your ad 10 Barry what the fucks and a set of pom-poms and a megaphone. Because you attacked Powder Puff, you moron. Next up in the governor's race is Lindy Blanchard. Now, old Lindy's claim to fame is Trump appointed her ambassador to Slovenia. Can anybody point to Slovenia on a map? Now, Lindy has an ad attacking the Magic City Acceptance Academy too, but I refuse to play that. No. But let's check out what Lindy thinks about Kay Ivey, our current governor.
Does Kay Ivey make sense to you? Ivey raised our gas tax. It's crushing us at the pump. And Ivey said on the pandemic,
but it's time to start blaming the unvaccinated folks, not the regular folks.
Blame the unvaccinated? That earned Ivey praise from Biden and Fauci. And why can't Kay Ivey be bothered to appear with President Trump at his Alabama rallies? Kay Ivey, a tax-hiking, Fauci-loving, never-Trump liberal.
Why did Republicans vote against suspending the gas tax? And yes, she did say that about the unvaccinated, but then she also, right after that, promptly signed a bill banning vaccine mandates. And I don't know Mrs. Virginia Slim 1982, maybe she doesn't see the need to suck up to a former reality show host and actor who had a bit part in Home Alone 2. She says she's got a state to run. But don't worry. She says the election was stolen. So we good. Come on, Lindy. You got to scrape the bottom of the barrel better to appease the voter base.
Joe Biden shut down construction of President Trump's wall and put out a welcome sign to illegal aliens. As governor, Lindy Blanchard would deny taxpayer-funded benefits to illegals.
That's your money. It should go to Americans, not illegals.
And under Governor Blanchard, any illegals found in Alabama would be put on a one-way ticket to Mexico, even if she has to take them herself.
Well, somebody's got to take them to the airport.
Lindy Blanchard for governor.
And I'm going to make them pay for their bags, too.
There you go. You see how easy the racist rhetoric just rolls off your tongue when you try? Hey, do you remember the last time Alabama passed a tough immigration law, the one that was gutted by the Supreme Court after we wasted all those millions of dollars in taxpayer funds fighting it? Do you remember the first person detained under that dumbass law? Was it somebody from Mexico? Or was it a Mercedes executive from Germany visiting the Mercedes plant? Guess that was embarrassing. Not as embarrassing as you driving a German citizen to the airport to fly to Mexico, though. Why do you think all the immigrants are from Mexico? Oh, never mind. That's just the racist undertones. And who's gonna pay for the flight? Taxpayers? Bet you'll right off the gas you use driving them there too. So much for no tax money going to immigrants. And maybe Biden stopped building the wall because Mexico's check bounced. Because remember, we weren't gonna pay for it. They were. Lindy, I give your ads 2.1 million. Barry, what the fucks? Because that's the population of Slovenia. Half, less than half of Alabama's. And now, the incumbent, the reigning champion of Alabama's states' rights, we dare defend them, the Meemaw to nobody and all of us at the same time. The Grand Belcher and overall owner of the libs, the one, the only, K. Ivey.
Sometimes it's like the world's gone crazy. Thank God we live in Alabama. There's no critical race theory in our schools. I signed the strongest pro-life law in America. I stood with Trump to ensure no election here can ever be stolen. And we created thousands of new jobs. Here in Alabama, we pray to God, protect life, and honor freedom. And as your governor, we always will.
No CRT in schools, huh? Or did you ban what you thought was critical race theory, which led to parents complaining that CRT was being taught during Black History Month? And you couldn't have the decency to put one person of color, one child of color in that commercial, in that classroom? No wonder CRT is so scary. Fun fact, Trump won with 2/3 of the vote in Alabama. But yes, election security is a serious issue. We pray to God, as long as God is Baptist. Pro-life? We refuse to expand Medicaid. A single mother of two doesn't qualify for Medicaid if she makes over $4,000 a year. A year, Kay. Plus, we've already executed one innocent man this year in the state on your watch, and there's another one sitting on death row right now.
I'm Kay Ivey. If Joe Biden keeps shipping illegal immigrants into our states, we all gonna have to learn Spanish. My message to Biden, no way, Jose. That's why I sent National Guard troops to protect the southern border. And that's why we banned sanctuary cities in Alabama. The left can try to counsel me, I don't care. But here in Alabama, we're gonna enforce the law.
You taking the cue from Lindy there, ain't you, Kay? You gonna drive to the airport too? In your Lincoln Town car, or maybe a Mercury Grand Marquis? Are they just handing out Biden-Harris t-shirts at the border? We know you don't care if people try to cancel you. You've already apologized for doing blackface in college and then hopped right back on the racist train. So, okay, Jose.
Growing up, my mom and dad told us, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. Well, here's what I have to say about Joe Biden.
Alabama's one and only, Kay Ivey.
Poor Joe. Bless his heart.
I'll take a cue from you, Kay.
Told you Ivey was going to put lead on that target.
Yep. Record job.
Hang on. Ain't I seen these guys before? In another one of your ads from your campaign in 2018?
Man, I'm sick of those DC politicians.
Me too. That's why I like Governor Ivey.
She is honest.
Tough as nails.
Nothing DC about her. She sure cleaned up that Bentley mess.
Protected our monuments.
She's breaking records of jobs creation.
President Trump said Kay Ivey is a great governor.
Woman knows how to get a bang for her buck. Straight shooter, that Kay Ivey.
Yeah, put your aim to shame.
Yeah, look who's talking.
I knew it. Good for them. Good for them getting steady work. All right, back to this year's.
Told you Kay Ivey was going to put lead on that target.
Yep. Record job creation.
America's strongest pro-life law.
Kay blocked Biden's vaccine mandate.
Banned critical race theory.
Sent troops to the border.
Kay kicked so much liberal butt, I bet her leg's tired.
No step too high for a high stepper.
Yes, ma'am.
That's right. What does that mean anyway?
I don't know, but I like it.
Bravo, Kay. Bravo, Meemaw. Bravo. I don't care that high stepper line reminds me of goose stepping. I'm impressed that you perfectly summed up your voter base with that last part. What does that mean? I don't know, but I like it. Chef's kiss, Kay. Just say a bunch of stuff for scare tactics and you can high step right back into office. Kay, you've outdone yourself this election season. It's hard to balance owning the libs and doing actually nothing to help your state. I congratulate you and give you 25 Barry what the fucks. And just for good measure, 5 burping Barneys from The Simpsons. Well, there you have it. A roundup of how this year's candidates will improve the lives of those they represent. Oh, wait. None of them said anything like that. Every ad was just a checklist of buzzwords intended to incite. I didn't realize that if you're running for Senate or governor, you're actually running against Joe Biden. And not a word was spoken on how Alabamians would benefit, especially us left-leaning citizens. In fact, it was totally implied that we're the enemy. The only consistent theme was libs bad. It's such a sad campaign tactic. But it works, which is even sadder. We all need to do better. Hallelujah and roll tide.